So you traveled internationally with Ringling. Can
Correct.
you tell us about some of the places you went, maybe some of the things you experienced as a
Right. Well,
performer?
a lot of the stuff we did most of the tour was in the continental United States. A couple of times we went into Canada or we went down to Mexico a couple of years for about a month, which was amazing. Anybody that has a chance to perform, in another country, I definitely say, do it. It is so amazing. It's such an eye opener and such an educational experience. It's fantastic. And then just being with the people from different cultures and different countries in the circus, when we would have some downtime, we would, like to go on vacation with them and see their culture, and they would love to show you and host you and be proud and show you off like this is my American friend, and we in the circus. And so I had friends in Brazil. We would go visit people in Brazil, friends in Europe and Russia, in Budapest, and all these amazing countries. And it's wild to see how other people live, and to really get in there and get like off the beaten path of like the tourist destinations, and really get into and experience the family culture of a different country. It is an amazing experience, and I'm really, really happy that I have such a diverse group of friends that I was able to experience that.
Hmm. Well, I think any type of diversity that builds your personality and your character translates into your show. So it's always a good thing to be able to do that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's diversity is really kind of what makes things funny. I mean, you need that diversity. If you have like a show with two characters and they're exactly the same, there's never going to be any conflict, and there's never going to be, an interest level. And diversity allows you to go a little bit deeper and really allows you to kind of play around with a lot of cool things. So, diversity is everywhere, and a lot of people really need to kind of latch on to diversity and accept it, and really embrace it.
Yeah. It's funny. I get every once in a while you'll get the politically correct people who go, "Oh, you can't do that," and it's hard for them to understand that sometimes the plays on diversity are more about the nature than it's not a put down. It's a kind of a love, kind of an embracing the differences, which I think is important to do.
Yeah, it's about the awareness. I mean, a lot of people, especially like the PC people, they think that they're doing this supreme justice by kind of ignoring the diversity and not talking about it. And so that way, oh, we can't step on any toes. Well, sometimes you got to step on some toes. You got to kind of call it out. You got to draw attention and be like, look, we are different, and this is what makes us great. He's got brown hair and he's short and I'm tall, and they're from a different country, and this is why it's so great. And sometimes, a lot of times, language barriers and stuff, that stuff's funny, like, the communication, the breakdown of communication. I mean, that you can do, so many funny things with that. And then people get it because that happens, in their everyday life. They are, constantly inundated with people maybe that don't speak the language as good, or maybe they speak English, but they're saying they're from the South and you're from the North, and, one speaks faster and one speaks slower. So, I mean, people get it. It's every day in your life, and for you to skirt around the issue is it's kind of crazy. You have to kind of do it head on.
I don't know if you heard the story I shared on Facebook. I recently worked well, actually it was a couple of years ago. I worked at an event. I went back, and when I got back there, I realized, oh, this was the place where I had a teacher complain about my show, because at the time I was using a Vietnamese potbelly pig in the show. After I had done my performance there, she had the entire class write me a letter. They thought I was racist because I referred to this pig as a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig. It's like, that's the breed. So,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, people jump to a conclusion. It's like you should really do a little research and really make sure that you're right. If you really want to call somebody out and kind of put a negative twist on things,
yeah.
It happens so often. To not have an educational conversation with somebody because they just feel like, oh, you did something wrong. And it's like, well, no, I didn't. I'm just kind of calling it how it is. It's
Yeah.
crazy.